Hello students. We always complain that my today's day is not so good or I am not blessed today and many other complaints we used to make every day. But dear students, every day is a good day. There is something to learn, care and celebrate every day. That is why Ralph Waldo Emerson has said, write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. With this beautiful quote, I wish everybody a great morning. Today we are going to go with our last chapter of grammar, or you may say the course portion is already over, and this is the last chapter of grammar, that is chapter 22, punctuation. Look at your book on page number 130 and we will see what do we mean by a punctuation. Punctuation plays a very important role in writing. Just as we stress certain syllables and words or pause at the right place to convey the necessary meaning while speaking, punctuation marks help us to convey the correct meaning in writing. An incorrect punctuation mark or the omission of one can completely alter the meaning of what we wish to convey. Alter means change. There are two examples given below. This is your book, Anita. This is your book, comma, Anita. Second is this your book, comma, Anita, and a question mark. The first sentence is a statement which means that the book belongs to Anita. But the second sentence, which is a question, means that the speaker is asking if the book belongs to Anita. Sometimes we feel that punctuation chapter is very easy and we can do it without studying also during our exams. But punctuation marks play a great role in writing English. Whether you write article, poem or any other writing, punctuation marks are very important. We have to know the correct place of using various punctuation marks, because as we have learnt just now that the wrong use of punctuation marks may change the meaning of a sentence. The important punctuation marks are as follows. You have to see the signs also. Capital letters, comma, semicolon, colon, question mark, exclamatory mark, apostrophe and question marks or quotation marks or inverted commas. I repeat, dear students, capital letters, comma, semicolon, colon, question mark, exclamation mark, apostrophe and quotation marks or inverted commas. What is the use of a capital letter in a sentence? Let us see. We use capital letters for proper nouns such as names of people such as Vinita, Udit, Varun, Gupta, Mahima, Sen. In both the names, first name and second name, the first letter will be capital. Second point is names of the days of the week like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the months of the year from January till December. Third is names of cities, countries, nationalities, languages and the adjectives derived from them such as Mumbai, Tokyo, Indian, French, Hindi, Spanish, Japanese. Another point is names of rivers, mountains, trains, buildings and ships such as the Ganges, the Nile, Mount Everest, the Rajdhani Express, the Taj Mahal, the Titanic. Before every word, most of the words you may see that the is used because it is only one in this whole world. Next point is names of festivals and religions such as Deepavali, Buddhism, Hinduism, Holi, many are there. Another point is names of political parties, schools, universities, colleges and companies such as Democratic Party, Bal Bharati International School, Kerala School, Harvard University, Loyola College, Tata Steel Company, etc. Next point is special days and special events such as Independence Day, the Salt March, etc. Another point is the first letter of the first word of the at the beginning of every sentence. For example, the city was brightly illuminated. All the shops were open. In both the cases, first letter is capital and both ends with a full stop. We also use capital letters for the following. Sometimes at the beginning of each line of poetry. You might have noticed while reading a poem that every line of the poem begins with a capital letter. An example of a poem is given here. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. These lines are an extract from the poem Daffodils, composed by William Wordsworth, very famous poem. The first word of a direct quotation example, she said, there is many a slip between the cup and the lip. Here, T is capital. All the words of the titles of novels, plays, essays, films, except for articles, conjunctions and prepositions when they appear in the middle of a title. Like example, the sound and the furry, the Merchant of Venice, Essays of Elia, Avatar. These all the first letters are written in capital letter when we talk about a famous book or writing. Another point is the official names of government departments and titles of officials in high positions. Example, the Ministry of Defense, the President, the Home Minister. These all here, M of Ministry, D of Defense, President's P, Home Ministers, H and M are in capital. You have to be very, very careful about these things. Sometimes students are very casual while writing these things. So, whenever we learn a language, we should be very, very careful and we learn the correct things. Another point is the pronoun I and the interjection O. For example, I must be responsible for my actions. I, separately, when we talk about I, it's always written in capital letter. Oh, what a fault she had. Here O has been used before an exclamatory mark. Sometimes it is used as an interjection before an interjection. You might have heard O, sometimes simply O, or sometimes OH is also written. Next point is writing abbreviations. Examples UNO, BHEL, DRDO. All these examples, each and every letter is written in capital letters. Another point is the nouns and pronouns referring to God. For example, may the Lord have mercy on us. Here Lord, L is capital, although it is used in the middle of the sentence. All of us should pray to Almighty God. Almighty, A, and God, G is capital. These are written at the end then also, not written in the beginning. Dear students, here there is an exercise, that is exercise A. Rewrite using capital letters. One has been done for you. Although punctuation chapter is not very difficult, but you have to be very, very careful in the usage of this punctuation mark. yeah, you have to see that whether you are leaving anything or not, or you are putting a wrong punctuation mark anywhere or not. So since your exam is near, so I have solved this exercise also. You have to be very careful about the use of the punctuation mark towards the end of the chapter, at the end of the chapter, because at any cost the first letter will be capital, and at the end either it will be a full stop according to the sentence, question mark, exclamatory mark. And you will also see that in the middle of the sentences, capital letter is used or not. Suppose question number 2, Anita will not go to school on Monday. Anita, A is capital because it is a name, proper noun, and it is also the first letter of the sentence. Monday is written at the end, but since Monday is the name of a day, so Monday's M will be capital. So these all things you have to take care of. Fourth one also, April and May are name of the months, so A and M will be capital. Another punctuation mark is full stop. Now we'll see the use of full stop. The full stop is used in these cases: at the end of a sentence. For example, they stopped talking. Vera is very excited today. In both the cases, the sentences end with a full stop. In some abbreviations also, for example, AM and PM, anti-meridian and prime meridian, you have learned these things. So after A and M and P and M, there will be a dot or full stop used. In websites and email addresses, example www.hop.com, similarly xyz24@cmail.com. You know these things, we are using a lot nowadays. When a sentence is placed within brackets, the full stop is placed inside the bracket. Example, Sheila and her brother were up to their pranks as usual. Pranks, you know, no, to make somebody fool. Here the sentence is within a bracket, and the full stop should be within the bracket itself. Another one is when quotation marks are used, the full stop is placed before the closing quotation mark. Example, the teacher said, comma, inverted comma begins, please assemble in the playground at 9 o'clock in the morning. Then full stop, then the inverted comma closes. Another is when an abbreviation ends with the last letter of the word, the full stop is omitted. For example, Mrs., Doctor, Miss. We are not putting the dots or full stop after these words. As it is said, the abbreviation ends with the last letter of the word, then the full stop will be omitted. And here the second letters are small letters also. We usually omit the full stop in well-known abbreviations also. For example, NCERT, MP, VIP, we are not using the full stops. You have to be very careful about these things. You have to learn these things. Next punctuation mark is question mark. The question mark is used after a direct question or a question tag. Examples, do you go for a swim yesterday? Question mark. He is preparing for his exam. He is preparing for his exams, comma, isn't he? Here, isn't he is a question tag. You should know this. Aren't we? Do I? When we write this way, these are question tags. In both the cases, at the end, the question mark will be there whenever they mean to be asking a question. Question mark is not used after an indirect question. For example, they asked her if she had lodged an official complaint about the theft. Full stop. We have done direct and indirect speech before this chapter, and there we have learned that in the case of indirect speech, whatever the kind of the sentence the direct speech is, in the case of indirect, the sentence will always end with a full stop. So here also, in the case of indirect question, the sentence ends with a full stop, not with a question mark. Next punctuation mark is exclamation mark. The exclamation mark is used in these cases after words, phrases, and sentences which express feelings of surprise, joy, hurt, or sorrow. For example, hurrah, note of exclamation. We have a holiday tomorrow. How I wish I could fly like a bird. In the case of first sentence, after hurrah, note of exclamation is given, and a full stop after tomorrow. In the second example, the note of exclamation is given at the end. So you have to know the differences between these things. For this, you have to give the reading of the book, although I am speaking everything, but then also you have to give the reading. Then only you will be able to understand, because this particular topic, if you prepare very well, it is not very difficult and you can score full marks also. So we were talking about exclamatory mark. So an exclamation mark is used after a short order. For example, just leave, you have said enough. Shut up, you are talking nonsense. In both the cases, just leave, after just leave and after shut up, note of exclamation is used and the sentences end with a full stop. These are some uncommon type of sentences. Now exercise B, rewrite using capital letters, full stops, question marks and exclamation marks. Wherever necessary, one has been done. Here also similar thing. You have to be very, very careful and you have to know here, you have to use your brain that which sentence is going to be end with a full stop, which sentence is going to end with a question mark, exclamatory mark, all these things. And you should also know about the use of the capital letters when necessary. Although all the sentences will begin with a capital letter, but there are places where capital letter is also used in between. See the last question. We are proud of the scientists of ISRO for launching the Mangalyaan. Here ISRO, ISRO will be in capital and Mangalyaan, M will be in capital. Similarly, the third one, Jane Austen was an English novelist. Jane Austen is a name, so both the names, first name and the second name, will begin with a capital letter. And English is a language, so English E will be capital. These all things you have to take care of. What a pretty child she is. It's a exclamatory sentence, so the sentence ends with an exclamation mark. How many mango trees are there in this orchard? This is a question type, so the sentence ends with a question mark. Another punctuation mark is apostrophe. The apostrophe is used in these cases to form the possessive of a singular noun. For example, the elephant's tusk, the stranger's mustache, Neha's bike. Here, when the person is possessing something, like the belongings of someone's, then the person or the animal will possess a apostrophe mark. Like the elephant's tusk, we are talking about the tusk of the elephant. Similarly, in the second sentence, the mustache of the stranger, the bike of Neha. So whenever this of and the possession and the belongings will be mentioned, apostrophe is used. Apostrophe is also used to form the possessive or plurals ending with S. In such cases, the S after the apostrophe is not used. For example, the girl's cap, the student's work, the teacher's appreciation. Here girls, students and teachers are plurals, so we generally put the apostrophe after the S. You have to be careful about, because many times students don't follow these things. Apostrophe is used to form the possessive of nouns that do not end with S. The women's dresses, the children's laughter, the men's anger. Women, children and men are plural, but they don't have S after them. The E is used for them. Woman, women, child, children and man and men. So in these cases, apostrophe S is used, like the first point. Apostrophe is used to indicate the omission of a letter or letters to construct short forms like I'll, I apostrophe double L. It means I will. Similarly, she is. She apostrophe S. She is. They apostrophe S. They are. She apostrophe S. She is. They apostrophe R E. They are. DON apostrophe T. Do not. Apostrophe is also used to form the plurals of letters and figures. For example, there are two V's in this word. Means in a single word, V is used twice. So V apostrophe S. Mind your P's and Q's. Means the letter P and Q should be corrected. Multiply 2 4s to get 16. So you have to multiply 4 times to get the number 16. Apostrophe is used to denote the omission of numerals like 14th November apostrophe 18, 15th August apostrophe 47. Means 18 is the year, 18 and 47. Now another punctuation mark is comma. We use the comma in these cases to separate the words in a series. For example, Reena is tall, good looking, intelligent and friendly. These are the qualities of Reena. So we have used commas here. But comma will be not used before and. So after intelligent, comma is not used, and after friendly there is a full stop. Comma is used to separate short phrases that go together in pairs. Young or old, short or tall, educated or uneducated, everyone gathered the ground to attend the meeting. So these are the short phrases: young or old, short or tall, educated, uneducated. So after short phrases also, if many short phrases are used, then comma will be used. And similarly here also, if and will be there, comma will be not used, although and is not used here. Comma is used to separate short clauses. For example, what he does during his holidays, where he goes, it not known to his parents. So what he does, where he goes are clauses. So here also comma is used because twice the clauses are used. Comma is used to separate a word or group of words to address a person. Rita, can I walk with you to the bus stop? Question mark. So we are addressing the person Rita here after putting a comma. Comma is used sometimes after the salutation in a letter. Like for example, dear Ria, respected sir, although nowadays we are not using, but generally it is used. Comma is used in closing a letter sometimes. Example, yours faithfully, comma. Earlier time we were using, but nowadays commas importance is not that much. We are not using these commas after faithfully or in salutation also. Comma is used before the introduction of direct speech and after the reporting verb. Meeta said, comma, inverted comma begins, I am watching my favorite program now. Full stop, inverted comma, close. So whenever we are using direct speech, writing a sentence in direct speech, then after the reported verb, comma will be used. Comma is used to mark off an expression or a group of words from the rest of the sentence. Nisha has been doing well in school. Full stop. In fact, comma, she is appearing for the scholarship exam this year. So to mark off an expression, a group of words from the rest of the sentence. After in fact, comma is used. You will understand this when you will write the sentence. Comma is used sometimes to separate clauses from the rest of the sentences. Mohan, comma, who is a famous musician, comma, is visiting us today. Here, who is a famous musician is about Mohan. So after Mohan and after this clause, comma will be used. Again an exercise C. Rewrite these sentences using commas wherever necessary. So you should know it is easy also. If you will see that many points are given about something, we will put comma. So this exercise is also solved for you. Here you see number 6. Thankfully, as we have done earlier also in the examples, thankfully nobody in the room was offended by her behavior. After thankfully, comma will be there. Here also you can see 17 July, comma 2019. I will be visiting Raipur on 17 July 2019. So after 17 July, after the month, we have put a comma before the year. Wherever she goes, she learns something of importance. Clause. After the clause, comma is used. Things are easy if you learn it properly, if you go through the rules, if you are careful enough to read the sentence properly and then using the punctuation marks. Our next punctuation mark is inverted commas. We use the inverted commas in these cases to indicate the beginning and end of direct speech. We have already done direct and indirect soon, last chapter only. So you must be remembering that in the case of direct speech, we are using a comma after reported verb, and then the reported speech will be within inverted commas. Here the teacher said comma, inverted comma begins. Today's lesson is on preposition, full stop, and then inverted comma closes. Inverted commas are used to emphasize a word in a sentence. For example, the word faith has different connotations for different people. Faith has value differently with different people. So faith is important here, the word faith. So faith will be within single inverted commas. This inverted commas are used with the titles of short stories and songs. For example, The Open Window is a famous short story by Saki. The open window, T, O and W will be capital, and these three words will be within inverted commas. Heal the World has been sung by Michael Jackson. So here also H and W will be capital and Heal the World will be within inverted commas. Another one is semicolon. We use the semicolon in these cases to connect two independent clauses not joined by a coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. You have learned these things in conjunctions when we were doing the chapter conjunctions. Shweta and Richa were friends, semicolon. Both of them studied in different schools, because when we are when we are following the coordinating conjunction, semicolon will be used within in the middle of the sentence. To separate two main clauses, when the second clause begins with nevertheless, therefore, moreover, otherwise, also, still, and so forth. Example, mother seemed annoyed, semicolon, therefore, comma, I stayed away. Okay, so you have to learn that in with the use of which kind of words semicolon will be used. Next is colon. We use the colon in these cases to introduce a list of items. For example, a lot of people visit these hill stations during summer, colon, Darjeeling, comma, Nainital, comma, Uttarakhand, comma, Shimla and Mussoorie. To introduce a quotation or formal statement, for example, John Kennedy said, colon is used because it is the quotation. Sometimes in formal statement these are used. Inverted comma, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Full stop, inverted comma close. To indicate that the statement before the colon will be further explained, the teacher is so proud of her students, colon, they are hardworking and sincere. Because here the explanation of the students were done, why the teacher was proud of them. Colon is used to separate two contrasting statements, like Sheila speaks less and listens more, Neha speaks more and listens less. There is a contrast of nature between the two, so colon is used in between. Colon is used to separate units of time and ratio. For example, 7 colon 40 p.m. 3 is to 4 are the examples. These are the ratios and timing. 7:40 p.m. So we generally use colon, two dots up and down, and when we talk about ratios, then also we use colons, two dots up and down, 3 is to 4. Students, let us see exercise D, which is based on the punctuation mark colon. As the question suggests, rewrite with correct punctuation. The first one is already done for you. Grandmother always says people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. This is a saying also, that people who have problems in themselves, they should not point out mistakes in others. Grandmother always says, as per the rule given on the top, we have just now discussed. After grandmother always says, there will be colon, and then people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Second one, Ria is practical and sensible. Her brother is imaginative and carefree. These both are contrast natured. So after Ria is practical and sensible, colon will be there. Mrs. Mehta is a great traveler and has visited many countries in Europe, Germany, England, Denmark, Italy, to name a few. Here Mrs. M capital, Mehta M capital is a great traveler and has visited many countries in Europe. After Europe, colon will be there, and then the country's name. Europe, E, Germany, G, England, E, Denmark, D, Italy, I will be capital. So after Europe, colon will be there, and then the countries' names are written, and after a few there is a full stop. Fourth one also, who is our favorite poet? After that, colon, and then the poet's names are written, and at the end, full stop. While we were walking by the lake, colon will be there, and then we heard the chirps of birds and the croaking of frogs. Then please P capital comma be here by 8 p.m. today. Why don't you listen to? You may put a colon here, what your parents tell you. A question mark. Here after listen to, you may not put a colon, or you may put, but generally we are not putting a colon here. And PM before this question, please be here by 8 p.m. today. Here P dot M dot is used. Here after 2 you may not put a colon. Generally we don't put. Why don't you listen to what your parents tell you? Question mark. Anu is close to her cousin Meeta. They have known each other since childhood. After Meeta, the explanation is done. So after Meeta, there will be a colon, and at the end, full stop will be there. So dear students, seventh one once again, why don't you listen to what your parents tell you? Question mark. Exercise E. Rewrite this passage using capital letters, full stop, question mark, exclamation mark, apostrophes, comma, inverted commas, semicolons and colons wherever required. So this is the mixture of all the exercises. I think 4 exercises have been solved and given to you. So I think this will be easier for you to do this particular exercise yourself. So use all the punctuation marks wherever they require and at their correct places. So this particular exercise I have left for you as homework. I hope you will be able to do so. So I think today's class will be fruitful for you because all the rules and regulations have been taught to you and all the exercises have also been done. So as I always used to tell you that first you do the exercises in the book by yourself and then you tally your answers with the PDF. So this is enough for today, dear students. Going to wind up. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Goodbye.